Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to our aesthetics accelerated course today. We are talking about massage, facial massage. We're introing to this course. We are live streaming as well, so you'll be able to pick this back up on the flip side on our YouTube. Let's go over some of the objectives, and then I also want to look at the PSI requirements for aesthetics. Take another look at that because you do have some massage components and those particular areas we will want to make sure we study. Okay, since this is an accelerated course, we definitely want to make sure that we're hitting those key components. And let's find the one for aesthetics. Aesthetics. I hope you've had a great and amazing day. Let's see.
Doing good. It's good to hear from you today.
I know it's good to hear from you as well. All right.
I'm
So
excited
here's
about this part.
right. We
The
get to
fun
do
part.
we get to do stuff, not a lot of stuff, but when they do let us loose, it can be very entertaining.
Yeah.
Um, I like this part too because it actually just helps relax me. It really helps relax me. And I once took a 2 hour. Eminence has a class when they do at the trade show, and it's a 2 hour class. It's Hungarian massage. And I literally, after the class, was like, I'll probably never do that, but it felt so good looking at it. And I would probably be that person that would want to do all that extra stuff, is crawling under the table and stuff like that. So it was very entertaining. But at the same, I knew it was going to take a lot of time. And so I love massage as well. Let's look at the components. Um, Even though we have our book objectives, we also want to make sure we're hitting our objectives in the PSI bulletin. Here we go. So from this last chapter, that is going to be one of those key components as well, from skin analysis to skincare products, facial manipulations. See that here? So if you look at 27 questions and you may want to divide by 5, you're looking at maybe 5 questions, 5.5 questions possibly, that could involve some massage movements. So I wanted to make sure we put that there. So when we get to facial manipulations, we want to make sure that we're hitting it right on the nose with that. Some of our other facial massage learning objectives, explaining the importance of facial massage as an esthetician. Also, we will touch on scope of practice, describe the benefits of the massage, discuss facial massage contraindications. What are some cases that we cannot offer the facial massage? And then describe the 5 types of massage movements used by estheticians. So, learning objective 4 should be highlighted because it matches where you're going to have questions come from on your final PSI exam. Okay, so study note, make sure you study lesson objective 4 in massage because you will be tested on massage manipulations. Lesson objective 5, explain how to incorporate massage during the facial treatment. So pretty much 4, 5, and 6 are going to be where the core, okay? It's going to be core. And so that is always, we look forward to getting to those areas and finding out what would be on the exam. So pretty cool. Head it over to our ebook. And remember, we have flashcards, slideshow, and practice exam as well for this chapter. I'm going to go ahead and bookmark this particular area. Facial massage. The biggest thing with estheticians that I teach is kind of delivering the sad news. And the sad news is when it comes to facial massage, estheticians would think that they're basically a masseuse. I'm like, you're not a massage therapist. So I have to tell you what your scope of practice is. You cannot massage the body. You cannot do, and was a popular service years ago. And I had students that were like so bummed that they couldn't do this service, the body contouring. And I was like, you're first of all, y'all were doing it before you even came to school. But Tennessee, basically, you're not able to do that unless you have a massage therapist license. And if you were working in what we considered med spas, where there was medical professionals. And so since a lot of students were not, and I was telling them, I was like, hey, you have to kind of be careful. So somebody called in on somebody, and this person had a huge clientele, body contouring, and this person was going through my instructor program, and she called and she was like, I don't know what to do. I have my clientele. They told her if she advertised those services again, that she would be a ding on her license. But she would need to go to massage therapy school. So she finished her instructor training, went to massage therapy school. She's a massage therapist now, but it was a real back and forth of what she could do with her license. She was an esthetician as well, what she could not do with her license. And somebody just made a phone call who was probably jealous or whatever, and of her clientele, her building her clientele, or whatever the reason. And literally, they said she had to go to school, become a massage therapist if she wanted to continue offering those services. And I get it. I get it. I really do get it. But when I tell you she was bummed, she was bummed. And I got a call from massage therapists asking how much will it cost for them just to learn facials. I said, now hold on, is this the pot calling the kettle black? I can't give that to you. I didn't know what that was all about, but I was like, yeah, we're not going to be able to do that. So usually when estheticians learn what their scope of practice is, they're a little bummed because they've been operating. And sometimes you will find individuals that say, oh, I want a back massage. And they'll say, oh, okay, yeah, we can do it. I'm like, but you can't do a back massage. All right. You got to find another way to stimulate those muscles. And so that's where we start to become very creative. And there are other services, spa services that you can offer that can stimulate those muscles, either through heat or through advanced topic machines, all that good stuff. So stones, all of that good stuff. So we just have to be a little bit more creative and very plain in what we can do, what we cannot do. We can definitely do the scalp. We have muscles on the scalp. We have muscles on the face. We can do that. We have neck and décolleté. That's our areas. But you also have hands and you also have feet. And many individuals are like, why can an esthetician do feet? There's muscles there. There's ending points, reflexology that helps stimulate different parts of the body. And so a lot of individuals, I know when I used to take the students out to a church, used to come out to my church. I don't know how this one particular lady got the students to put her on the table, and she had a student on her hands, a student on her face, and a student on her feet. I said, now you're just pampered. You're just so pampered. And the students were eager to do it. And they was like, I don't know about the feet. I said, look, let me tell you, you know where the feet is being all day. You don't know where the hands have been all day, but you know exactly where the feet has been all day. And that's how my teacher explained it to me. What's a little mask? What's a little deodorizer? And go ahead and take care of what you got to take care of. Because for sure, the feet has been in the shoes all day. And so if we got to deal with a little, scent or smell, when we were doing manicuring, you soak them first anyway, and that's the purpose. Soak them to get whatever that dead skin off, neutralize the smell, and then start working on the feet. When it comes to estheticians and the feet, we could do, they even call them foot facials, but we can do light cleansing. We don't do any pedicure, manicure skills, but we do all for a light cleansing foot mask, paraffin dip, and heat. You can use heat elements to help massage the muscles of the feet. Same thing with the hands. And so when I kind of take away, you cannot give them a full body massage, but I tell them what you can do for these other particular areas. And that hopefully it suffices um, their love for massage from that point on. But we must check with every state. Every state has to be, it's kind of different. I was telling somebody yesterday, apprenticeship in Tennessee does not mean the same apprenticeship in Georgia. It is not the same apprenticeship in Texas. And so, with those three states, kind of like my specialty states, when I do consulting, I always have to make sure I tell people you cannot take one rule and make it work for another state. You will have to find the rules and then need to deal from there. Um, when we look at our highlighted words, the first one we see is massage. Let's remember throughout every chapter, any word that's highlighted, we want to make sure that we study. The highlighted words are also going to be your flashcards, okay? If you don't do anything else, study your terms. When you study your terms, you can kind of summarize or memorize definitions, apply this. Okay, they make things come together and make sense because when it's time to go into studying, a time to go into practice exams, if you know the terms, it's easier for you to understand what the question is asking, what's going on in the question, and you can maneuver how you need to move to get the correct answer. So definitely get an understanding above anything. If something you're stuttering over something, if something doesn't make sense to you mentally in your mind, you don't know what that word means, that word needs to be highlighted. It needs to go in your folder of I don't know. And it needs to be a point of the day or the week that you go and try to look for the definitions and really spend some time mentally to figure out how that connects and noticing how you got it wrong and how do you fix it. And so that's is a big pickup about massage. All right. It says massage is a key step and relaxing part of the facial that keeps clients coming back. I absolutely love the massage. You can do the massage, incorporate it in the facial, or you may have clients that come in and get facial massage as a single service. All right, as a single service. Um, I know plenty of individuals who do medical. Um, they've turned their salons into clinics. All right, and in turning their salons into clinics, they can now do medical billing for salon services, from wigs to treating clients, wigs for clients who are dealing with PTMS, PTMD. What does it call it? PTMS, and then clients who are dealing with alopecia, um, even clients who are getting like Botox and things of that nature. It's like you can bill, and the insurance pays for it. The VA insurance pays for it. So I see that's growing. And so my question is to this young lady, Miss Tony in Georgia. I want to get with her. So does that work the same way with skincare services? Because you have many people who are in distraught, stressed about their skin as they age, or they may have trauma and they may be former military, veterans, and they want to get services also. So I want to be very clear because that's another avenue that many estheticians could take as well, is treating those individuals, just like the hairstylist would treat the hair, but I'm sure there's an avenue where the estheticians would treat the skin for the same exact reasons. And so that's kind of like my journey going forward for a little bit. And then individuals, estheticians being able to offer the massage therapy um, for those individuals who've had strokes and things of that nature. And so massaging, putting things back into place where they were, such as the muscles and things. That's your scope of practice, so you can absolutely do that. So if you're working in a therapist's office or you're working with a chiropractor or any doctor, that's something that you guys can do. But I'm quite sure the same billing component will apply. Okay, just need to have those specialists with a code who can assign a correct code. But I want to always share that there's more than just doing massage when it comes to facial. You can do so much more. Okay. I'm also at a point where, and I've been like this for years and years and years. We should not be touching anything we don't know what's underneath. Okay. And so massage becomes a major component because now, as you begin to do the services, you're touching things. You got to know what you're touching. Everything you do is a cause and reaction to it. Okay. So if we're on the face and if I say zygomatic or zygomatic bone, I need you to think of cheekbone. Okay, upper cheekbone. And a lot of times when you get into anatomy, if we're saying zygomatic, a bone, well, the muscle is going to flow the same, the nerves also are going to flow in that particular area as well. All right, so if I say radius bone, you got radial nerve. If I say zygomatic bone, you got zygomatic muscle. And so if you get the foundation, get those bones out the way, you can pretty much know what the muscles and what the nerves are going to be on down the line. So we can do a form of massage. It's a manual or mechanical manipulation achieved by rubbing, kneading, or other methods that stimulate metabolism and circulation. When we cut on the steamer, we are massaging. Every form of touch to our clients, that's some form of massage. We're causing something to be stimulated when we touch them. Okay. And so that's what I want you guys to think of. Not out of your mind, your eyes. Traditionally, you would think therapist, a full masseuse, okay? But you have to break it down some and down some. Everything you do becomes a form of massage. The rubbing, the kneading, and other forms of stimulation. Talk about when we talk about other forms of stimulation, you think of things electrotherapy. So you got a chapter coming up called Advanced Topics. And so you're thinking of electrotherapy, anything that plugs up and has electricity to it and that you're able to use on the face or the body is going to have a form of massage. It's going to stimulate blood and stimulate a muscle. And so from high frequency machines, galvanic machines, all of both of those are going to be used through electricity, but it also has a stimulation incorporated with it as well. And so you may not be able to do a full hand massage push penetration for the body, but you have it easier. Okay. You can just cut these machines on and they could stimulate those same features. Okay. So that's something to look forward to. It has many mental and physical benefits. For me, if I'm doing a facial, I probably shouldn't be doing a facial because I become like I engulf myself in the facial and I'm relaxing just like my client, but I end up very sleepy after I'm finished. I don't know if other people do that, but I'm very sleepy and clear after I'm finished because I have just experienced the same thing that the client experienced. And I love a massage and I love a good facial massage as well. So it says when a body senses touch, reflex receptors respond by increasing blood and lymph flow. So every time you comb your hair, every time you brush your hair, and there was a myth that you brush your hair 100 times at night and your hair would grow. Really, the hair growth was the result of you brushing your hair, touching your scalp, those receptors, okay, causing the blood to start to flow in the scalp and that stimulation area. From the blood, the nourishment is in the blood. The nourishment flows to the hair root, and the hair root begins to feed. As the hair root begins to feed through the follicle, the hair grows. And so, sometimes we got to be really technical. Some people will say, this made my hair grow. You have to I don't, I'm a teacher. I have to clarify some things. And even a student today, we talked about rosemary. And I told her, she said, yeah, rosemary makes the hair grow. I said, I don't want you to purchase an item because it says it grows your hair. I need you to understand that rosemary is a stimulant. And when you put it on the follicle, when you put it on your scalp, put it on the follicle, it blows, it's like a balloon, it's air going through a balloon. So it makes that, it's going to absorb into the follicle, then it's going to expand. It's going to open that pore up. And anything that was stuck inside has an opportunity to go to the top. But also, as it opens the pore up, you can get more blood, more nourishment into those particular areas. More blood, more nourishment, more good stuff. The hair feeds and the hair grows. And so, just talking about different herbs and what they're used for, because they in the ingredients chapter, different herbs and what they're used for is very beneficial as well. So we'll learn about oils and also about herbs, and we'll use them they can be used in steamers along with essential oils to help stimulate the skin, okay? Help stimulate the muscles without actually using our hands to perform a full body massage. It increases blood flow and lymph flow. We are not licensed to do lymphatic drainage. That's another thing that comes with body contouring. We are not licensed as estheticians or cosmetologists to perform lymphatic drainage. Okay, put the client on the table. We can easily take our hands and just start rubbing the sides to come to our body and just pushing everything below. When the client gets up, they will have to go to the restroom, guaranteed, because you push everything below. But it'll be real easy that for you to walk into that and then you'll be in trouble because that's outside of your scope of practice. So be really mindful of what you can do and not do. And when it comes up, you're able to discuss with your clients why you're not able to do that, unless you are a massage therapist also. So there's certain things when it comes to the body contouring. If you held a medical profession certification, such as CNA, medical assistant, or a nurse, a doctor, of course, you'd be able to perform certain services when it comes to body contouring using the machinery, because that medical advisor, that medical part of your license will help maintain and notice blood pressure spikes. Notice when it goes low, when it comes up. And a lot of times I see people who are doing classes and they have no references to alert them what's going on with a client's blood pressure or anything. And I'm like, oh, we got to make sure that the client is not in gets into these severe ranges where they need a medical profession, especially if you're going to be doing something like cryotherapy, where you're freezing the fats. Okay, and you're freezing the fats, and the fats trickle down to your kidneys, and it passes with urine. Okay, the fat passes with urine. It is weight loss, definitely, but it is a slow, like weight loss until your body just gets into it. And you have to do it all the time. But if you're doing it and we're working in spa and no one is checking a person's blood pressure, you have no way of knowing how that service is affecting the client. So it's good, as I say, go get your wellness certification. I tell students also, go get your simple CNA or medical assistant to a phlebotomist to add on to what you have, because when you're working in advanced spas, you may have to draw some blood. You may have to check some blood pressure, do initial checks, check-ins, and things of that nature. So it's good to always have it or make sure where you're going, those things are in place so it enhances your menu. You're able to do more stuff. Okay. And so I'm going to highlight massage in yellow all the way down to here. First study note. It says the central nervous system is affected, yeah, by massage. Okay. When we have the people on our table, the client on our table, and if the nerves are at the base, they start at the base of the brain, you have them on your table, and as soon as you put your hands on them, it's a transfer of energy. They call it holistic healing. If you ever been to church and they lay hands on someone, that's holistic healing. They're transferring one energy to another one. All right. And so, can you imagine when you have to service clients and you have to transfer your energy to your clients, and your clients will transfer theirs to you? I tell my students, always make sure you are ready for main stage. Main stage means you got all your stuff together. You may have to compartmentalize all you got going on because right now, Miss Jones is the major focus. Okay. And Miss Jones can sense all your baggage that you're bringing in. So, what if Miss Jones has baggage and you have baggage? It is not going to be a comfortable experience. So we got to make sure we clean everything out, compartmentalize. Mentally, we need to be at a place where we're ready to serve. And then our job is to make Miss Jones comfortable so she eases away from the problems that she has going on. And when she comes to you, that's her time. That's the time that she's peeled back, that is just for her. So it may be some restrictions as you start to care for the clients. No children allowed, no loud noise allowed. So you're cultivating an experience for your clients, and you got to step into and know what they need and what they have going on. All right. So we continuously ask questions. How was work? How the kids? If you're getting any negative sides, you're gonna probably reduce talking. You're gonna reduce talking, and you're gonna go more for relaxation. Okay. Every state is going to be different, so make sure that you check out everything. Your skin is the largest organ, so remember everything you put on the skin, it is going to absorb. Everything you put on the skin, it is going to absorb. And so you can start to test products when you go and look at trade shows and things like that. You can start to test products, the feel of it. How well does it break down? Is it oily? Is it creamy? Does it dry up fast? You'll start to test. And so that's the way that you'll start to learn what works well for each client. Okay. There was a show this weekend in New York, and it kind of kicked off the big trade show circuit. It was called Be Well. So IBS New York has renamed itself, and it's called Be Well. And they have about three Be Well shows a year. New York, Florida, and Las Vegas. Okay. And I think New York and Las Vegas are the largest, but it's official. IBS has now changed its name to Be Well. And I see there was a huge, huge turnout. So I'm excited about that. Who knows which one we're going to pop up at this year? But it's always good to go see products, courses, equipment. And usually for me, I would go, and especially New York, I would go see what products are out, try to see if I can negotiate with some vendors to get things for student kids when we used to offer student kids. Um, and we would sometimes come up with better deals than what they gave me on the phone. So, or I see something I've never seen before, and I know that the students are going to go crazy over. I usually purchase it, and we'll have like a show and tell. They get to pull things out of the bag, and 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna give them what's in the bag. But I haven't been to New York lately, and maybe next year I plan to go to the Be Well show in New York. So big emphasis on skincare now, and almost skincare over hair care. Okay. So when it says massage can be manual or mechanical, resulting in a state of relaxation, let's highlight. When we talk about manual, we're talking about your hands massage. Manual. Okay. Your hands doing the touching, doing the massaging. Some people like just to have that hands-on component. Okay. When we talk about mechanical, let's take note. Mechanical massage can be done through an electrotherapy item, electrotherapy equipment. So you have the rotator brush. You can take that rotator brush and put different heads on the brush, and it can offer massaging to the client. The glycolic, I would say the galvanic can negative positives can penetrate deeper into the skin and stimulate the muscles. Also, you got the high frequency one, which is my absolute favorite, and one I love to teach. The high frequency one could stimulate the blood flow. And the blood flow, of course, um, problems with nutrients and gets to the follicle, things of that nature. But the high frequency one, the galvanic, the electrical scrubber, all of those are great components that help stimulate the skin, stimulate the circulation, but it also has gauges on it, so the gauge goes from like 1 to 5 or 0 to 10. And based on how high the gauge is, how deep that penetration goes. Okay. How high the gauge is, the more you cut it up, the deeper I go. Right. And so there are contraindications to using those mechanical devices. You do have to make sure that the clients don't have any pacemakers, metal plates, things of that nature, because the electricity, as you cut it up, that goes throughout their body, can send a signal of an extra heartbeat. Okay. And then you have your little box in the heart trying to catch up because it thinks it's a different type of heartbeat. Comes off rhythm, possible heart attack. So please make sure we're following all the directions when it comes to using those electrotherapy aids. First review question we always see: estheticians should have a thorough understanding, and we have 4 general bullets here, of facial massage. Let's look at these and proceed to roll on. Learning and practicing your technique will allow you to provide your clients with superior results and create a loyal clientele. People remember how you made them feel. Okay. People remember how you made them feel. Okay. And in doing that, okay. So learning and practicing your technique will allow you to provide your clients with superior results and create a loyal clientele. They like the way you make them feel. They'll return. Okay. So always practicing and honing your craft, because no one will be able to duplicate the things that you can do under your own right. You must be able to explain the psychological benefits of facial massage to the client. Although it makes them feel good, tell them why. Tell them what's being stimulated. Okay, that doesn't mean talk them through the facial, because remember they have to be relaxed. But share off and on the different benefits of getting a massage, because some individuals would say skip the massage. Okay, so you want to make sure that they're getting everything their money is worth. Knowing the proper techniques and the contraindications for facial massage is important for the client service. And it says this is another foundational service that enhances product effectiveness. Facial massage provides relaxation and increases circulation to assist with oxygenating the skin, that's giving life to the skin and bringing vital nutrients to the surface level of the skin, while assisting removal of waste. And so it's massaging itself, it benefits the skin of bringing things to the top, but also it helps push out and eliminate waste. So amazing. Just some history facts, looking at the early contributions. They were doing massage thousands of years ago. Okay. They were massages it's nothing new. It was literally a form of medicine. Okay. Thousands of years ago. All right. And so then we start to look at the definition of massage. We highlight that, and it's easy to bookmark and go back to that. Describing the benefits of massage, let's highlight in yellow as well. I'm going to do this in green here. It says massage during facial benefits the client in many ways. A variety of techniques can be used to give the absolute best. Of course, you can customize those techniques as well. Take the base, take the foundation, and make them into something simply amazing. Be mindful of the products that you're trying to achieve, the results you're trying to achieve when giving a facial massage. All right. Now, back to the eminence. This was a 2 hour massage training class. It was a Hungarian massage. They probably have this actual class. It was at a show called Premiere Orlando. And I think it was recorded and it's on YouTube. If you ever sat in an eminence class, you know it's entertaining. Okay, it's entertaining, but it's full of great information, great products, great ingredients. They have a wonderful story. But the owner of the company is skilled as well, and he was the educator. And so he said this. He was trying out a new product, letting us know about a new product. And he said in 6 hours, she'll be amazing. But is after the 6 hour mark, she would need to, if she was going out tomorrow, she'll reapply because that product lasted anywhere between 6 to 8 hours. And so he said, oh, we would massage, take this product and you massage in. You would increase your massage about an hour and taking that product. So that person will get a facial massage for almost an hour and you're using your serum. The serum was used as for rejuvenating and anti-wrinkles, reduce the signs of wrinkles. And so what happened when you have the wrinkles, the rhytides, okay, you would take that serum, squeeze that, pull that skin back as far as possible and make sure that that serum is in that crease of the wrinkle. And you will massage, offer that facial massage for about a good hour. And when the lady got up, because of course they took her before picture, she looked younger off the table. She looked absolutely younger. And he said that's because of the muscles. The muscles are in, they're not tight, they're not stuck in particular areas. They have hydration. And so once they have once they're dehydrated, once they're hydrated and they're moved around and plumped up, they would go back into the position they were made to go back into. But it's when we neglect and we don't treat the skin and we don't add water, we don't move the muscles around, we don't hydrate them. That's when they get complacent in other areas. And sometimes in older people, they tend to start to sag away from the bone, which means down. So if you got upper cheeks, you had that as a kid, and as you age, you know your cheeks just kind of diminish. That happens when aging because we eliminated some elasticity, some collagen, the stuff that keeps them plugged in, that keeps them upright. We started to eliminate that and replace with like sugars and starches and things of that nature. That doesn't do anything for our bones. Okay. And in fact, cool fact, sugars and drinks and cakes and all that stuff, when you get to 40, it starts to diminish the joints. So it you lose the joint power quicker. All right. So that's even a wellness conversation to have with your clients. Like, what have you been eating? Because if you weren't eating this, oh, processed foods do it too. If you wouldn't taking part of that, you will feel better. Your knees will feel better, your joints will feel better, and you will actually feel better. So that's something to motivate your clients. And everybody should get at least a massage once a week. If you can't do once a week, you can do every 2 weeks. But massages are very, very important. So whether I'm sitting in the chair or I got my feet in a bowl or I'm just massaging my feet, just sitting in hot water, that is a relaxation moment and I am getting a massage. Okay. I'm going to highlight in yellow going forward. And we're talking about massage and stress. It says massage should never be given too long or too deep. All right. A lot of times we have clients that when we get ready to do the massage, they go, ouch, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. But it only hurts because those areas have not been manipulated. All right. And so a lot of time you may have what we call muscle cramp or muscle tightness because those areas have not seen any movement. And so the first thing muscles do before relaxing, they will cramp up. They call it contraction. So they contract tight and then they release down. So I had someone say, I don't want a massage. It hurts. Well, it probably hurts because you had a lot of, joint knots and tightness in your shoulders and wherever else. And when it came time for you to get a massage, couldn't bear the pain of that relaxation moment. I tell clients all the time, start with a heating pad. Start with a heating pad or heating gloves, something warm to relax the muscles. Get them out that tight. And then go in with your hands. But make sure your hands are warm. Make sure they're soft. And then go in, you can start to go to work. All right. So the key is relaxation. All right. Those nerve points that flow throughout the muscles send signals to the brain to let in the brain says, we're relaxed. We like that, or we don't like that. Okay. It's a stimulating muscle and nerve motor points with both contract muscles, cause them to lock up to tight. Okay. And after that, it then starts to relax the client. Okay. Um, it helps in our hormones, everything. Releases all kind of things that help make us happy. Okay. And so it's good. Sometimes tell your clients just come in for a facial massage because it can really help stimulate some things going on with you. It can relax you. It does make you younger. It purifies your skin and it helps get rid of the bad bacteria that's on the face. Okay. Let's look at the benefits of the facial massage. We're going to go in yellow. Relaxes the client. We know, especially the facial muscles. We know I do not massage the neck. I may take my hands and rub it down the neck, but I do not massage the neck. The neck has very sensitive. It has connected to the jugular bone, the jugular vein. We have more of your oxygen and blood flow to the brain. And so squeezing that, you could minimize the oxygen to the brain. So I do not do any squeezing, pinching, or whatever in the neck area. We may take our hands and massage that area. And how we massage is take your flat hand and rub your hands down the side of the neck. That's the only thing I would do. Okay. And when I get to the shoulders and under the shoulders, that's when I will start to do some movements. But other than that, it's just a hand roll down the side of the neck. Okay. It helps tones muscle, whereas things that have been flabby or extra skin in these areas, massage is going to help tighten it up along with exercise. Okay. So we said it already cleanses the skin. It does slope off dead skin cells. And so that's why it's good for the feet, good for the hands, because any dead skin cells could just set up and cause a disaster in other areas on the body. Okay. Helps with product absorption. Anything you put on the skin is going to absorb. That's why you got to be very careful what you feed your body, because if you're putting on the skin all this bad stuff, and you're just doing it because you saw it on social media, you may have an issue with skin because the skin is going to take it in and it'll cause a reaction. All right. It relieves muscle tension and pain. Let me go back to absorption. Anything you're trying to get to the skin also, such as vitamins. You're trying to, and just take an issue, hyperpigmentation. Um, your skin is dry, okay? And you're trying to deliver vitamins to the skin. Most of the time, you will take like serums and you rub them into the skin and it disappears. And you're like, oh, yeah, the skin that ate it up. It really just came in and, oh, it received the product so well. It did, but you got to understand there are layers to this, there are levels to this, there are layers of skin. And where melanin is located is on the bottom. Okay. And so that serum, that vitamin C serum, has to go from the top of the layer of skin where you put it on all the way down to the bottom. 9 times out of 10, you're going to need, it's a performance product, which means you're going to need some, for me, electrotherapy. I need LED or galvanic. I need something electrical wise, electrotherapy to push that product, that serum, down to the bottom of the layer of skin that it needs to be in order for it to work like it needs to work. So a lot of people are very, you know, fun of just putting it on the top layer of skin. But if anybody knows, if you're trying to really treat something, you're going to have to drive that product down deeper. You can use many different vehicles, but what I would use would be electrotherapy, the LED. And we're talking hyperpigmentation. The LED, I would use red, or I want to say orange or yellow. Now you made me look at purple. I want to say red, orange, and yellow. Okay, as LED colors. Okay, hey, I want to say red, orange, and yellow as LED colors to use to help push and penetrate the product into the skin. Let me confirm really, really quick. I just want to look something up. I want to see which LED color is the longest width. The longest width. Okay. We know that red helps tighten the skin and it rejuvenates the skin. Let's look at, yeah, red is amazing. Blue is for acne, but let me tell you, yellow and orange kind of do like the same thing. Orange is strong, red is strong. So right now I'm going to say orange and red. If you're really trying to get product deeper down where melanin tends to bottle itself up and cause dark spots, I would use any serum, such as like something for that claims to fade dark spots or claims to break up hyperpigmentation. I would put that cream or serum on the skin. I would use a gauze. For Tennessee, I would use a gauze on top of the skin, or and use a high frequency one. Okay, the high frequency one will push that as far as it can go, probably in the blue or purple. Okay, that's not really far. But if I want to use to go deeper, I'm gonna go with an LED light, and I'm gonna use orange or red. And I'm gonna let that sit on the skin, or let the client sit under the light for about 15-minute increments. Okay, so the client gets maybe a facial mask. So I might do the serum that protects, that's the treatment to break up the dark spots, with some vitamin E, something that puts serum on the face. So vitamin E, vitamin C, make sure I'm getting under the eye and wherever the dark spots are. Then I put the mask on the client and set them under the LED. The LED will probably be from orange to red. And the reason why I say orange to red, because the LED has a range of 625 as far as deep penetration, and the red is at 700. Okay. And the red is effective against wrinkles. And so when the skin loses elasticity, it starts to buckle up. And in some places, you can rebuild collagen and elasticity in the same place of melanin. So those areas we found deeper into the deeper layers of skin. And so that's what I would use and come out with an amazing massage after that. All right. And so it'll help decongest, get rid of stuff, and also things on the bottom. Break up those things, spread it apart, and you'll see the client's skin look brighter, and it will definitely be influential in making them feel great, making them feel amazing. Because most individuals that are older, their ultimate goal, they want to feel good about themselves. So orange and red on the LED. And we'll learn more about the LED in the next chapters to come. So it absorbs skin. It absorbs what you put on it. So I make sure I put the good stuff on it because I want only the good stuff to be used for feedings and relaxation, things of that nature. The good stuff is going to produce good skin. All right. So making sure you understand and know your ingredients. It's going to relieve muscle tension and pain. So it really, when it knocks out those muscle cramps and things of that nature, those knots, it's going to take away the pain. Okay. Provides a sense of well being. So it's going to be very amazing to the client that just relax. And when they get up, they're like, whoa, this feels amazing. This feels good. Okay. As we look at the contraindications today, this is what I want to leave us with and we begin to study. We know that massage feels amazing, but what are those things in every service we do, those red flags that we cannot get the services? All right. And let's highlight contraindications. Let's bookmark this page, actually, page 388. It says certain health problems and skin conditions contraindicate a massage. We've seen this before. Many people cannot get a massage. That's why sometimes we have to do some alternatives. But even with heat alternatives, may not be able to get done. Okay. It takes the esthetician to do some more knowledge searching, some more advanced knowledge, seeking information. What are some reasons clients cannot get a massage? Okay. So before even performing the massage, you're having a conversation during a consultation and you're learning what's going on with the client. I'm always listening. I'm letting them talk because they're going to talk themselves right out of the service. Okay. So I let them talk. Here's a few things. Let's highlight in yellow. It says facial massage contraindications such as product allergies are the same as facial contraindications. Okay, so whatever they have going on with facials, same thing applies to the facial massage. Okay, contagious diseases. We are not allowed. Contagious diseases are diseases that can be spread from one person to another. They also call this communicable. Okay. So it's easily spread in a salon or spa or one person to another, from touch, things of that nature. Okay. So be leery of clients in certain time of the year coming in with masks, sneezing. Those should be red flags off the jump. I'm stopping with my normal consultation and I'm asking how long you've been sick. What are some of your symptoms? Do you feel like you're going to refrain from coughing, or do you think laying down is going to cause you to cough more? So we start to ask questions about the well-being. And honestly, we are not supposed to service clients, and that jeopardizes our license if we do service clients with a contagious disease. It literally says in the rule book that you cannot service clients with communicable diseases. And you're not supposed to be at work if you have a communicable disease. All right. Inflamed acne, do not massage any area but has pustular breakouts. All right. If a person has cystic acne where it's raised and it's inflamed and a whole lot of pus in different areas, we're not massaging that. They can't even get a massage this week. We have to treat the inflamed acne. Sunburn, windburn, irritation, severe breakouts. Anytime that you have those, we're not doing a massage. It even gets down to the person who's massaging. Their their fingers may be so sensitive that causes the skin of the client to hurt. All right. So even the form of touch may be uncomfortable to some people. They cannot get massaged. And when you talk about sunburn, that's redness, inflammation, windburn, drying, cracking skin, irritation, severe redness. We do not need massage. What you need at that point is things that are anti-redness, okay? You need your essential oils, you need your aloe vera, okay? You need green tea. And I just told a student about green tea. You take green tea, and then you can take your sponges or your washcloths, saturate the green tea, that's the washcloth in the green tea, and you're gonna lay that on the skin or wrap that around the arm. We talking about someone with sunburn and things of that nature. Green tea is going to help relieve the pain, the irritation. It's going to take some of that redness out. It's also going to be a barrier. It's going to start the cleanup behind bacteria. So it's antimicrobial as well. And so green tea is one of those things that works from the inside out. And then you can use it on the exterior, but it really, really works. It's one of those foundation, they call it medicine. Okay. And so in some cultures, that's all they use as a base, and then we'll add other herbs and things like that to it. Okay. So keep you some green tea, okay, or green tea bag, because to me it's not good after about 24 hours. All right. Open lesions, cut sores, abrasions, any of that, we're not servicing the client. I cannot put massage cream or oil on you and then it gets into those sores and now there's an infection. Okay, not gonna do it. Skin disorders. Skin disorders cannot get a massage. Once the doctor has excused them to get services, you'll start with minor services, okay? But skin conditions like dryness of the skin, you sensitive skin, you can do. But when you start adding things to it, like disorders and diseases, we are not able to service clients. Severe uncontrolled hypertension. Your blood pressure is uncontrolled and it's severe. You would know this by talking and conversating with the client. You want to know what medicines they're on, how long they've had high blood pressure. And sometimes there are signs of severe high blood pressure, puffiness in the eyes, puffiness in the face, not feeling well. Okay. Absolutely not feeling well, tired all the time, feeling weak. If a person also is coupled as a diabetic and they go to dialysis, if those are red flags, you really have to work out. And uncontrolled diabetes, of course, they would not be getting a massage. Absolutely not be getting a massage, because remember, the massage stimulates the blood, stimulates the circulation. And so these particular diseases, um, you do not want the blood elevated or stimulated. Okay. You want to keep the blood pressure at an average or below average, not too much so. I'm just, especially between me and my mom, I know of her blood pressure, like she's at dialysis today. And when she comes back, they're gonna do the blood pressure, right? I know that her blood pressure, if it's under a certain number on the bottom, she needs to have like an emergency medicine, a metadrin or something like that, that's gonna help maintain, bring her blood pressure up and maintain her. And so that's personally what I know. All right. So you take your own personal experience and bring that in. And with her having other issues, massaging is just out of the way. And she always wants me to rub her legs and stuff. But I would take a hot towel and I would wrap them around her legs, or I would just rub without pushing into the skin. Um, and she just says that's better than nothing. Okay, but that's pretty much where we are looking at contraindications. It says if your client has sensitive or redness prone skin, avoid using rigorous strong massage techniques. So I'm going to put this in blue. All right, you can't be rough with everybody. All right, especially if someone has sensitive skin. They're used to a certain gentleness, and that's what we need to continue with. If you go fast and you're rigorous, you're going to cause the skin to really blush. And what that means is you're going to cause red spots on the skin. All right. It could become a sensitivity where it can start to burn, sensitivity where it could be painful. So we don't want to do that. Okay. Traditionally contraindicated, it is now acceptable for many clients who have high blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes, cancer, all of those, to get services. But I need to know the severity of it. All right. So like here it says severe uncontrolled hyperpigmentation can get it. That's just high blood pressure, severe high blood pressure. But if your pressure is normal, or maybe you take one medication, it's okay. You're coming off of it. Certain parts of these diseases, you're able to function with massage, but I am not going to personally be massaging them. I use some form of apparatus to massage them. Okay. We're going to put that in yellow. Okay. And then also we have caution in yellow too, talking about our cancer patients. Those receiving cancer treatment should not receive massage unless it is from an oncology trained esthetician. So here's where oncology trained esthetician comes in. Once you're an esthetician and you have your license, you can go back to the many schools. There are schools that are only oncologist trained. So they only teach you how to work as an esthetician and how to serve your cancer clients with the cancer education background. All right. So they will teach you how to serve clients that are going through cancer. If you have Look Good, Feel Good Foundation and you're a licensed professional or student, they would train you for free. Okay. But some of the other places you might have to go away for 4 months, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. But what they're doing, they're training you for oncology specialists. Then you enhance your base. Now you may be hired in a medical office. You may be very useful in a spa, okay, a day spa. So the opportunities are endless. We're going to close with scope of practice. Okay. Knowing your scope of practice means that we will be following our Tennessee state law. But let's look at it in yellow. An esthetician's massage services are commonly limited to certain areas of the body: the face, the neck, the shoulders, and décolleté, what we explained earlier, depending on your state scope of practice. All right. So some places they can do more, and in Tennessee, that's what you could do. But Tennessee has added the feet and also the hands. Okay. Therapeutic massage, such as deep tissue massage and manual lymph drainage massage, has to be performed by a licensed massage therapist. Okay. Although skin treatments, such as back treatments and body treatments, are part of aesthetics, massage is not performed. So, for me, if someone's getting a back treatment, I usually replace that with um hot stones. Okay. I used to place it with hot stones and I put hot stones on the muscle and they're like, oh my goodness, it feels so good. And so that's usually what I would do. Okay. And so although people may make the argument with back treatments is in aesthetics, but back treatment is, but it does not include a back massage. Okay. Like we said before, I'm putting this in blue. We are going to refer to our state law tomorrow. We're just going to take a little moment to look into the state law and the rules that affect you as an esthetician when it comes to massage and your scope of practice. Okay. So we'll finish up tomorrow on this particular chapter. And so just get ready to discuss that. We're going to start off with our state law and we're going to find those 10 questions. I'm going to show you the answers to them. So we're going to start off with our state law and we're going to go find what our scope of practice is as an esthetician. Then we'll come over and finish this in the massage chapter. Okay. All right. So that was a good intro to this. I hope you found something very interesting out of it.